Still on the first table, right?
Yeah, that's fresh. You're not there. Very nice. No. lightest voice, so everybody else is going to be booming, just to let you know.
Did we lose our mayor? Oh, here he comes. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you on behalf of the town of Malden and the long-term recovery organization. Really happy to have you all here for this ribbon cutting for our new community center. And just a few things before I introduce the star of the show, Mayor Dan Harwood. Just had a couple remarks for you as well. And again, Paul Kimmel with Avista, I'm the regional business manager. We've had the opportunity and honor to be here for many, many years, decades in fact. And again, from this event back Labor Day of 2020, we've truly been here.
Every day.
Every day, yeah. So with that, again, we talk about resiliency and wildfires, and there's a book that I often give out to our community leaders. It's called The Devil Never Sleeps, Living in the Age of Disaster. And it talks about being prepared on both sides of the disaster, the boom. Being prepared prior to an event happening, as well as being prepared for recovery. And again, you never get it right on the preparedness side, and you never get it right on the recovery side. But I think we're getting it pretty right here. And again, it's been an honor to come alongside the mayor and his leadership team, as well as the long-term recovery organization, to really make this happen. Again, you saw the public service building right up here, as well as this beautiful new community center. And truly, it's an honor to be here. And so thank you all. And with that, I will introduce Malden Mayor Dan Harwood, who, again, I have utmost admiration for. So with that, please help me welcome Dan Harwood.
Wow. Thank you all for coming. This day has been 5 years in the making. It's one of those things that you think, everybody says you will be able to get this done. But during the battles, the days, the nights, the weeks, our council, our residents, the list that I'm going to be talking about today are the people that made this building, that made everything happen. With that, I'd like everybody to rise. I didn't get a flag here, but if we could rise and give the Pledge of Allegiance, I think that's appropriate. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. There's a number of things I want you all to remember. One is, because of emergency management, Whitman County Sheriff, our mutual aid fire departments throughout the county, our families, and our neighbors. These are the people that have helped Malden progress during the last 5 years. We're not quite to 5 years, but we're close. When a disaster happens, everybody thinks FEMA's going to come running in. And Washington State Emergency Management came in when they were able to. But like I said, it's our neighbors, our family, that are first here on the scene. And Paul, we can't forget that. So, but no one died in this disaster. Everybody did their job, and it was truly an amazing function that nobody died. The second thing that happened is that our community church, though it was damaged, it's still standing to this day. Now, if people don't think that there is not a higher power with us, think about that. We had virtually no time to get out of town, and yet everyone was saved. We lost 67 homes here in town. Of that, 29, I believe, have been replaced. And one of the things that needs to be brought up time and time again is when a disaster happens in the state of Washington and the federal government, there is no way to assist people in getting homes. There's no funding. We've turned over every rock that there is, and it's one of the things that needs to be changed. We still have families, 3 families that were here during the fire are still living in recreational vehicles. 1 family with 3 children. That's a wake-up call, folks. That is something that needs to be changed. And it's up to everyone in this room to push for that to happen. It really does. We started out with 230 people. We've got about 140. It varies. It comes up, it comes down. But the thing is we've got people that want to come into town. And one of the things that they're waiting on is our sewer system. Thanks to funding through, at the time, Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers and Senator Murray, we have $5.6 million to go forward to the sewer system. We are working diligently to get that complete and to make it happen. We've got a goal of beginning to turn dirt next spring. So that's some of the things that we're doing. Last February, we dedicated our public service building, our fire station, post office, and town offices. And today, we're going to dedicate the second half of that. And I can't thank, FEMA, our insurance. We have our anonymous donors that have been so graceful to us. And they are the ones that pushed us over the edge to be able to complete this building. People think, well, where did you get your funds? We got our funds from everywhere. Whitman County, we ended up getting .09 funds for future development and job growth. And working with the port, we will accomplish that. So our future, we want to remember the past and honor the past, but we're moving forward. Soon we will have our gravel roads project will be completed in July. And then we have our asphalt paving jobs that will be completed either this year or next. We get just 1 or 2 projects going on around here, and it gets a little crazy. But with that, I'd like Nikki Harnois to come forward. She's going to give us our invocation. Watch out for this. Mickey has been, she's my angel. She's been my clerk for 5 years, just about. Mm-hmm. And without that, our townspeople wouldn't get their water bills. I'm sure everybody likes that. But she's one of the people that put together projects like the Easter egg hunt and helps with the fall festival. So with that, here's Mickey.
Thank you. So one of the things that, to me, the most memorable part has been the rebuilding of 8 homes in this town, and they were done by the Western Anabaptist missionaries, the Amish, out of St. Ignatius, Montana. And each home that they built, after it was done, they wanted the family to meet them inside their kitchen, and they blessed the house. Well, today, we're blessing this building. So if you all could bow your heads, and we will pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for this community center, which we officially are opening today. Bless those who cannot be here today, and they were the ones to help rebuild. Bless this building and all who use it. Grant that all the activities that take place here will build up a spirit of community among us and lead to the well-being of all of our citizens. Keep this a busy, busy place. Father, we praise you and ask your blessing through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Stay here. Chandel. There you are.
There you are.
When I say that Mickey's been my angel, that's a true statement. The number of hours that this lady is paid for is minimal. The number of hours that she volunteers is phenomenal. And without her, bills wouldn't be paid. Dan wouldn't have his sanity that he does have. And she truly is my angel. With that, don't do that. I want to present this little plaque to Mickey. It says 2020 Bab Road Fire. Special thanks to Mickey Harnois for everything you did to help Malden become the newest town in Washington. From Mayor Dan Harwood, our council, Bob Law, Janelle Turner, Scott Schaff, Danielle Roth, and Lori Dickerson.
Well, this is a lot better than flowers. I'll make sure this is back there by the cake. Well, everything that I've done here, it started with Paul Kimmel. The fire was happening and it was done. And he called Association of Western Cities and said, there's got to be somebody that can help this small town. And one of the fellows that works with the small cities with AWC said, well, you know Mickey Harnois. And Paul says, yeah, I do. And I remember sitting at my house before the fire hit the town. And at one point, it looked like it was going to not hit the town and bypass. Well, then the wind shifted. And of course, then we know what all happened after that. And I'm sitting in my living room and I'm thinking, wait a minute. I've got to be able to do something. I don't live there. I don't know anybody in that town because I live in Rockford. And so I just drove down. And then it was, I would say about a month and a half after the fire. And smoke was gone, but the whole feeling was still there. I mean, had been no declaration of emergency at that time yet. And it was so sad. But everybody still, one of the things I have to give this town credit for, whenever some small town, they have council members that don't get along, or the mayor quits or something, they want to disincorporate. This town never thought about that. And when I hear that from other towns, they say, yeah, we should just incorporate. I say, wait a minute. Have you ever heard of the town of Malden? This place, if there was a reason to, they would have been the ones, and that was not even on their radar screen. And that means a lot, considering the fact that all of the city buildings were gone and the percentage of homes that were gone, this town kept going. Of course, his leadership helped with that. But this is such an honor. And I know this sounds really morbid, but this is going to be by my urn. Thank you.
Don't make that, make that so. Well, that's, I've been straining on that for days on how I was going to get through it, and I didn't, so that's just the way it is. I'd like to have my council, as I read your name, raise your hand and step up. Bob Law? There you are. Danielle Roth. Chandel is our new clerk. Lori Dickinson. And two of our council people were unable to be here today, Janelle Turner and Scott Schaff. These people have stood behind me. And if you want to know what the success of town is, it starts with our council, because they supported some of the crazy ideas that I've come up with, and they reeled me back in sometimes when I step over that line. And trust me, I step over the line quite often. But these are the people that make this happen. They support us, they support the council, supports our citizens, and then they are our representatives everywhere we go. So let's give them a great big hand. Bob, Lori, and Laura, stand up. These are yes, please. These are the people that run the food bank. And our food bank and our library are the keys to keep our town fed and going in a proper direction. So I want to thank you guys very much. At this time, I would like Representative Michael Baumgardner to come up and say a few words, if possible.
Happy to do that. Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, there we are.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm so pleased to be able to be with you here today to celebrate you in this community, you in this room. You represent the best of Eastern Washington and really the best of America. When that catastrophic fire came through this community and the devastation that it caused, it would have been easy just to kind of think, well, that's the end of Malden, the extent of the devastation. But that's not what you did. You had a lot of resolve, and you came together as a community. You put aside a lot of differences and brought out the best in each other. And today, to celebrate this wonderful community center and think about the future that Malden is going to have, it is just a tremendous accomplishment. And you should all be so proud. I know you are. Everybody in this room that played a role in that, whether you were the first responders or folks getting power and internet back in, or rebuilding the roads and the houses. It really is just tremendous to see this. I'm heartened by what I see here today. So it's fun for me to be able to celebrate. I grew up the first 10 years of my life in a place called Colton, Washington on the Palouse, and care a lot about small towns in Eastern Washington. They're so great when you're a little kid. And when this fire came through in Malden, and when we were reading about it in the aftermath, I thought a lot about, my childhood and being with my friends and running around and causing mischief, putting dandelions on the electric fence or throwing rocks at bulls, or the things you do when you're a little kid. And actually, when I was real little, down in Colton, I couldn't ride a bike, so I would chase after the neighborhood kids, and I had a blanket named Benny, and sometimes I would run and Benny would get left behind, and in that small town, call would go out. They would phone tree to look for Michael's blanket Benny, and would go through. And just that, I know that in the sense of community you have in places like this, it's really strong. It's so proud and something to protect and hold on to. So nice of me, or so privileged of me to be able to be with you here today. So congratulations, everybody, and we're going to enjoy this, and I have no doubt that the best days of Malden are ahead because of the leadership, the strength, and resolve of the people here in this room. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Next, I would like to have Representative Joe Schmidt come forward. Joe has been our quiet supporter on the Western State side. And when I say quiet, it's not even, he speaks loud and often. Joe is responsible for getting a tremendous amount of funding for our town. And this is the care that this gentleman has for our town. That first winter, when we had 28 folks living in RVs, and it was cold, and RVs are not made to winter up in, Joe went out and purchased ceramic heaters and delivered them to each and every person here in our town. That is what a representative truly does. With that, Joe, thank you very much, sir.
Well, greetings, everybody. It's great to see this many people turn out for a great day. Prior to coming up, I reviewed all the pictures from the fire. We were here with the county commissioners and the officials day after the burn here. And I was thinking back, there were 3 fires that day. Thank you to all the first responders keeping all of the communities safe, but this by far was the worst one. But reminding me, looking at those pictures reminded me of the tenacity and the resilience of your leadership and the people here. Something that we all can learn a lesson from. Because look at the results of this. You would not know this town was devastated the way it was by the way you see today. And I think that's something to be proud of. A lot of communities can learn a lot from the town of Malden. And I would just say, well done. As we celebrate today together, this is cool. I mean, I know the mayor, I don't want to say pestered. He was fervent, let's say, with his communications, but there was a need. And I'm so glad that for the things we were able to do, we were able to get all this done, and look at the results. What a great day. And thanks for allowing me to come and say a couple words, but it's a great day to be in Malden. Thank you.
It truly is a great day to be in Malden. Vanessa Place. Come here. Would you bring your new director, please? Yes. One of the things that was asked for, Mickey did a survey immediately after the fire, January or thereabouts. And number one thing that was asked for was replacement of the post office. We can check that off. And the second thing was rebuild the library. Today we have one of the coolest libraries in the county. And with that, our librarian, Vanessa Place, and her director. So would you like to say a few words?
So it was devastating, but we were able to rebuild. Whitman County, we are part of 14 branches, so we instantly had the backup of all of Whitman County. I think once the trailers came in, I was able to bring books, I think, within a month.
Yeah.
Before a month, I was already doing a pop-up library where people could check stuff out. I was a part of the food bank in the very beginning, so we used the food bank and the library together where people could meet and talk and still have some checkout. And this is our new director, Christy Hughes, and she will talk a little bit about the library system.
I I'm brand new. This is day 4, but I'm so thrilled to be out here. I actually had the chance to come out here in February before the food bank was even fully established. So it is such an honor to be here with you. Vanessa is phenomenal. She has been the branch librarian for over 7 years here and has just really made a difference for us as a library district and also for the community, and we're just very happy to honor her. We're also grateful to be able to serve this beautiful city and to have the opportunity to be right there with the food bank and collaborate and to be able to provide services that we feel are important and that hopefully you do as well. Yeah, we're just here for the ride and we're very grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
I was raised in St. John, and one of the things that St. John has, and many communities have, is community club. After our fire, one of the first things that was organized was the Pine Creek Community Restoration Long-Term Recovery Organization. And to this day, every Monday, we have an operations meeting. And it's part of what I think has helped us move along as fast as we have. We leave all egos, titles are left at the door. And we bring problems and we find solutions. And with that, Chandel, and is Christine here? Okay. Chandel, just a few words, please. Introduce your staff that are here.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm really pleased to be here today to help celebrate this new building that we've worked so hard towards. And really happy to be part of the team that made this happen.
Yeah.
Some of the board members with LTR are here today. Bob Law is one of them, along with Kim Heck. Larry Frick, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it today. And then we also have a couple more that were not able to make it today. We are looking for new members. So if you're interested in joining a committee that makes a huge impact for our community, the Pine Creek community, we'd love to hear from you. Like Dan said, we get together every Monday morning. We pretty much check the egos at the door and figure out solutions to make progress moving forward. And I think everybody knows that we are a model for other disasters. The Medical Lake elk fires, they reached out to us directly after the fire, so we were able to share resources with them to make it easier as they navigated through the process that we had to go through. Something nobody ever wants to have to go through. I'm just thankful that we're where we are today moving forward and that we've had as much support as we have had, which unfortunately a lot of communities have not had. The California fires, we had people come from the fire, what was the name of that fire?
Paradise.
The Paradise fires. They came and shared some of the stories from that fire. And unfortunately, they didn't have the same kind of support that this community has. Very devastating fire. They had lives lost in that fire. So I would just want to say, super thankful for where we are, and I feel very blessed to be a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you for everybody that helped make this happen. I appreciate it.
LTRO communications person, Robin, there you go. She corrects my grammar all the time. Somebody's got it. You know, there's people that step up and there's organizations that step up. And one of the organizations that's been with us from day one is Anovia. And I'd like to have Shelley O'Quinn come up and say just a few words. You didn't know I was going to do that to you, didn't you?
I I'm Shelley O'Quinn, CEO of Inovia Foundation, and I just have to say, as the Community Foundation serving Eastern Washington and North Idaho, these are the moments when we get to stand with community and celebrate. And as I'm standing here, seeing so many people who work together to bring this community back, Dan, I just have to say, you continue to inspire all of us because it has not been an easy journey. And being mayor and leading during this time requires a lot of personal sacrifice. And that's what is making more possible in this community. And so we do what we do as an organization because we have the privilege of supporting communities like Malden and leaders like you, as you are truly, we need to make sure that we take time today to honor the leadership of Dan through an incredibly hard time. And I just, on behalf of Inovia, on behalf of Molly, who has made those Monday calls and is on our team, thank you for your leadership, because it's easy to get through the hard times when we get to work with great people. And congratulations to all of you. We look forward to continuing to walk alongside you as you continue your journey of rebuilding. But today, I'm very happy that we are pausing to celebrate the success of where we are today and the leadership of those who got us here.
Thank you. Today, a lot of things have happened, go figure. But throughout the time, especially the first year, Malden has been truly blessed by donations that have come from California, Montana. We've had an organization donated $10,000 to us out of Florida. But one of the most amazing, heartfelt gifts came from the Palouse. And it is an anonymous donor that forever has been helping us. And we want to thank those folks. From the bottom of our heart, we can't make things happen without donors. You know, government is government, and we're grateful for that. But it's the heartfelt compassion of donors that make our residents, that make our town, that makes this happen. And we can't, there's not enough words in the dictionary to say how I truly feel. So with that, we'll just say thank you and God bless for that. Paul, now it's going to switch to you. Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
Oh, I don't know. You'll figure something out. You've never been bashful.
Sure.
We're right here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You young guys can bend over and pick things up like that.
Not that young. Thank you, Dan, and thanks everybody for attending today. Again, lots of support for this recovery effort, and I want to just kind of we recognize Inovia for sure. We had a lot of private and philanthropic partners, many public partners, and I know Dan has expressed appreciation to everybody from state emergency management to county to our sheriff, who I remember the day when we were clearing junk cars, and we had over 200 junk cars that we cleared out of this town. So you made a way for that to happen. Yeah, that was not easy either. But again, so many hands have really lifted this recovery effort. Our foundation, the Vista Foundation, was an early contributor to get the community center off the ground. Kind of let's see that $50,000 just to have that conversation. And again, this was a community outside of the church that really didn't have a community center. And so how do you build community? You gotta build a community center, right? Yeah. So that was mission one. Besides, the fire station was absolute priority, post office, public City Hall and so forth. But, so that required a lot of philanthropic support. Again, Innovia, our Avista Foundation, we were able to bring in our named community investment fund through our Climate Commitment Act requirements in the state of Washington. We're able to put solar arrays on both this facility as well as the public service building. And again, the intent there is not only to create, as we talk about, you've got the resiliency plan in front of you, we talk about a greener community. Again, how do we offset costs? How do we make it leaner, greener, less operational costs for a town like this that's still recovering, doesn't have tax base? So, you know, the worst thing I can do is, you know, have Dan say, Dan, you know, Avista needs $50,000 for utilities. It's like, no. So we figured out ways to invest in a community long-term, building resiliency like that. So really pleased with that. And then on the ground, day after day two, my local rep from TICO, Brian Bothman. Yeah, we were, which was really cool after the fire, not really cool, but we were able to restore power within, I think, 4 days, Brian, to most all of the residents. So again, we had all hands on deck, and then Brian has been here for all of the rebuilds, for all of this new construction, and it's just been a great, he's such a blessing to our utility as well as to this community. So thank you, Brian. And then some of our other people here today with Anna and Kim and let's see who else, Janelle's here. We've got some great people at Avista that truly do support communities. And again, it's part of our culture too. You know, we invest in community because a healthy community means a healthy utility. And that sounds a little self-serving, but it's not. It's been in our culture for 136 years. So again, it's been a pleasure to be a part of that. So will that work?
That'll work.
Okay.
But there's one more. Without Paul, I'm crazy on a good day, but I'd really be crazy without him. You have been the one cornerstone that when I need somebody to talk to, I call on Paul. And you truly are a blessing to us. And thank you very much. I'm not going to try and keep you guys very much longer, but I would like to have Sheriff Brett Meyer come up and say something for me. When our first responders, Rosea, St. John, Tico, Oaksdale, District 3, they came, but the first one on scene was our sheriff. And you're the one that kept everybody alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I got to be honest with you. If it wasn't for probably my right-hand man, or maybe I'm his right-hand man, but Bill Tensfield was the one who actually called me and said, you got to divert people right now up to Malden. And we got people coming up here, and it was, I'll tell you, that was a hot, kind of scary day. Day I hope I never have to see again. You know, there's a saying, if you want to run fast, you run alone. If you want to run far, you run together. And I think that Malden's run far because of people who came together, different organizations, different people who came together. They're still a little bit longer in this journey, in this race, but I think when you stay together, you can run far. I'm still a believer in miracles. I think sometimes we look around and think, I don't think miracles happen anymore, but I personally believe I see God's hand in my life. Certainly when I look back, I do. But I do think that oftentimes it's other people's hands God uses. And when I look around here, I see a lot of miracle makers. So I think when God wants to make miracles happen, sometimes we think it doesn't happen anymore because I didn't see the hand of God. But really all you have to do is look around and you see the hand of God every single day and the miracle makers that I see in this room and everywhere. So it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to have served the Malden community for nearly 30 years. I just want to recognize I got one deputy who's retiring soon, who's also been in Whitman County for 30 years, and Randy Zim has been part of this community and been up here many times as well. And there's many, many people in my office that have a soft spot for Malden and the work that's done up here. So thanks.
Thank you very much. we have, you know, you put buildings together and you think, well, it just happens. Well, it happens with engineers like Scott Rivas with SCJ. Stand up, please. SCJ Alliance, they're our town engineers. We have L&K, Riker, and Zach. Truly, they're a fine company. I recommend them to everybody. Would you guys like to say anything? Riker? Real quick. Everybody, I've got a surprise for you.
Thanks, Dan. I'm not much of a talker, so I'll keep this short, but it's been really awesome working with all you guys. We're happy to be able to give back to the community and just be a part of this process. I know there's a lot of challenges with construction, so we appreciate you guys putting up with us and our noise we were making down here for the past, 9, 10, 12 months, whatever it's been. But we really do appreciate it. Dan, thanks for putting up with us. Mainly, I'd like to thank Zach. He was the boots on the ground guy. I'm just the paper pusher in the office, but Zach was the guy out here making it happen. So thanks, Zach, and thanks everybody for having us. So thank you.
As you guys can see, I'm pretty bashful. But one of the things that I have absolutely no fear about is asking for money for our town. And when I do that, and sometimes it's money, sometimes it's projects. And I will go to Senator Murray's office and Lysette Garby, and I will go to Senator Cantwell's office. Riley Smith, are you here? He planned on being here and he had car trouble, but I thank these guys. Also, a gentleman I just met today is Luke Jasmine, correct? Raise your hand. He's with Governor Ferguson's office, and don't be bashful about talking to him. I'm not. I've already asked him for housing funding because we need it. So a shout out to our Whitman County Commissioners, Art Swanik, Tom Handy, Chad Wetzel, and past Commissioner Michael Argent. They were part of the people that were in the background that kept helping out. And then when it came really time for us to ask for help, they came through with .09 money. And that was just amazing. Our current and future partners, Port of Whitman, Commissioner Weber and Kara Rebold. We are in the beginning phases. Now we have, thanks to the port, we have high-speed internet here in town. We have our cell tower. We are the newest town in the state of Washington. And we have all of the items, the infrastructure that we need to move forward. And thanks to these folks, they are the ones that make these things happen. And please support your Port of Whitman, because they are amazing. Washington State Department of Commerce, did anybody get here? There you are. Commerce, they meet with us every Monday morning, and please thank them. They are the people that help fund our other building, and they've been support for the town from day one. Annika Eagle couldn't be here with us, and Julia Havens couldn't be with us today. But truly, God sent people. They really are here to help. Bill, Whitman County Emergency Management, you know, you guys have been here, you helped us survive. And then the people that are behind everything. Our Washington State Emergency Management Team. You know what, do you guys know what FEMA stands for? Anybody? Well, some say it's Federal Emergency Management Administration, but it's not. It's find every Mennonite available. But with that, I'd like John Holmes with Washington State Emergency Management to come up. These guys, when I come with a challenge, they've been here, they've been on site. You know, we lost Joe Kaufman with FEMA. He was our godsend. But John has stepped up, him and Gary Urbis, and all the girls, you know, Kirsten, Kelly, you know, Rachel isn't here today, but thank you. Please.
Okay, I'll keep this short. Of course, John Holmes, Washington State Public Assistance, and Program Manager for the Public Assistance Program, which is more of a recovery, not a response. So once we got a federal declaration, that's where my job kicks in, right? And the first thing my boss said to me was, you need to get out there. Gary Urbis said, get out there and meet Dan. So I rounded up my FEMA counterpart, Joe Kaufman, and I said, let's go. So we got in the car and we came out here. And as soon as we got out of the car, I think we met right over here on the street. And, you know, this is my job, right? But sometimes it's a little bit personal. And we've taken it very personal with the town of Malden. And from the very get-go, you know, me and Joe said, what can we do to help? And to tell you the truth, at that point, there was so much that needed to be done. He's like, I don't even know where to begin. So we had to start thinking, what can we provide you? And then the first thing we focused on was debris removal, because there was a lot of hazardous debris everywhere. Then the state focused on private property debris removal, which was a big mission that they undertook. But then we started looking at what else can we do, right? So we started looking at how, you know, writing up the grant projects for the buildings and also the roads. And what else did we get? A temporary fire station. And that was Joe Kaufman's idea, because we had fire apparatuses, trucks that were sitting in the field in Dan's front yard, I think. And Joe's like, we need a temporary facility for that. And he's like, well, if I can get one. And Joe said, yeah, let's get it done. Then he made me write it. But that's a different story. But we wrote that and got that built, all right? Then we went on to the next step. But the truth is, we wouldn't have got this far. And believe it or not, the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program is pretty narrow. Our limitation is what we can do. But what we know we can do, we do real well. The state of Washington really does step up and do a good job with public assistance, and we gave you everything we could possibly do for the town of Malden. The EMD, you know, I don't want to say took Malden under the wing, but they felt committed. It was the right thing to do, right? So we poured everything we had from the Emergency Management Division into Malden. Okay, so make a long story short, now we're, you know, several years post the event. We're still a long ways to go when it comes to the roads. I think we've got the roads to take care of. Closure of these projects and get it all free and clear. But it wouldn't have been possible without the partnership that we started that very first day when we came to Malden. We met the mayor. And I remember the mayor saying, Joe Kaufman, I can trust him. He's a man that is going to keep his word. I'm like, I'm standing here too, you know, you can, you know, because, oh yeah, you're with the state though, but Joe, I can, and that was Joe. Joe actually was that guy. He cared for Malden, and everything we did for Malden. And you know, God bless his you know, attention to this, because, you know, without his effort, his support behind this, and also the support of, you know, the state, you know, we wouldn't have got half of this done. So I will say it's a partnership that rebuilds, and from the state, you know, side, it's not just the Emergency Management Division, it's not just the Public Assistance Program, but it's also commerce, it's ecology. DNR was out here looking at trees, identifying, you know, we have Washington Parks and Recreation Commission who has done work along the trail to help, you know, recover from the damage. So the state has, you know, kicked them where they could. Sometimes it feels like it's not enough, but sometimes it's all we have. But we give everything we have to our applicants. So with that, you guys have made an amazing, you know, comeback, you know, and, you know, we think, oh, it's been 5 years. This isn't that quick. Believe it or not, this is pretty darn quick. Nationwide, they don't recover this quick. 2 years ago, I think me and Joe Kaufman presented kind of a case study for Malden, and Joe wowed him. FEMA was like, holy cow, you guys have done this in 2.5 years? And we're like, yeah. And it was a big deal, very impressed with, and what it showed was not just a partnership with the jurisdictions, but the state and the FEMA partnership that we had bonded to bring it together. And that was used as a case study with FEMA as a very successful story, right? These stories are going to go on, and we've already taken them forward. We're taking them to the Spokane fires 2 years ago, right? You know, but these stories have a lesson that needs to be heard and needs to be passed on so we don't make the same mistakes, so.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but our architects for this job was Architects West. They couldn't be here. Jody Opine with Partners of Rural Washington couldn't be here as well. She helps me write grants. I used to do that, but I gave that up. Jody moves along and keeps me centered. As we look forward into our future, we have a stable. The Masonic Lodge burnt, and now we have leased this building on a monthly basis to the Masons. And we also have soon to be the Order of Eastern Star will be here as well. So we've got base tenants, and trust me, folks, please come and rent our building. We also want to thank the Western Anabaptists for building 8 volunteer homes to date, to the National Red Cross in Novia, and the Stephens Foundation that supplied funds for building our Amish homes. People think that, how do you do all these things? Well, one of the ways that we do these things is through volunteer organizations. And out of Spangle, we have the Pathfinders, and we totaled up how many hours of labor that the Pathfinders, these young people, provided. And the last time I caught, it was over 1,700 hours that these kids have provided for us. And so what did they do? We needed some help with the drain field, and they came down 2 weeks ago. So God bless them. They help us every single day. So with that, have I missed any? Oh, yes, there is one organization that I forgot. I didn't forget them. But I went to Costco this winter and chatted with these folks. Costco has provided the chairs that you're sitting on. They have and that will soon be replaced with the sound of a train siren every noon. But Costco, through their generosity, has assisted us with plates and forks and these wonderful chairs. Plus, they came down and brought cakes for us today. Stacy, Jim, and Tim, please stand up. And thank these folks. They're going to supply my breakfast for the day. But they truly are an amazing organization. With that, have I covered everybody? Okay. I'm going to put Paul in charge of the next portion of it.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, a lot of people to recognize, a lot of organizations, obviously, and I'm sure we've missed a few, but just know you're in our hearts and thoughts. So next up, we're going to cut a ribbon out here in the amphitheater area. So again, we'll do that in just a minute.
I got one more to bring up.
Okay, we also have the cake that will serve as well. And take some time to tour the facility. The library is gorgeous behind those doors there. This is our kitchen prep area, and then beyond that is the food bank. And again, they're really lovely facilities. And again, we'll also have some photo ops and media opportunities as well. And you had one other thing.
I've got one.
Okay.
I come from a conservation background, and one of our greatest supporters has been Washington State Conservation Commission and Pine Creek Conservation District. And You know, people think, well, you know, you are surviving a fire. We're not just surviving a fire, damn it. We're trying to prevent the next one. With the help of the Conservation District, we have a chipper to pick up limbs, chip them, get them out of the area. And then we've got a vegetation mitigation program that a Vista Foundation and or Vista Vegetation Mitigation, I can't remember what they do. Goats, that's right, goats. But funding through those organizations help us keep residue down. And if you don't think that it works, I've got proof. We had a fire 2 years ago, a residence burnt in the summertime in August. We were first on scene along with Rosea. But the things that helped the most was our goats had been here, and instead of having vegetation 3 foot tall, we were dealing with 8 to 10 inch grass, cheatgrass. And our residents, David Roth being one of them, was able to just bring a shovel and put these fires out. It really does work. Please support vegetation mitigation programs. We hammer our residents time and time again. No plants up against your building. Keep your shrubs trimmed up, your trees trimmed up. Clean your rain gutters. Please, folks, take this home because, my God, don't be a Malden because it can happen so quick. So with that, I'm going to shut up and we'll go outside and cut a ribbon. Okay. Hi, Carol.
I'll be by you because,
I need to talk to you before you go, though.
okay,
About the
Have we
Amish
got
thing.
everybody?
yeah. We got your counsel?
And Shelley has done this many times.
So what was the total project cost on this, Dan?
About 3.6.
Okay,
So it's Mary here.
Where's Lori?
So Shandell,
she is, but she didn't want to be.
Shelley's she's a novice at this. She's great at this. So we'll let her count down.
Okay.
You do whatever.
Okay.
Whatever you do.
So again, congratulations, $3.6 million facility. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Okay.
Let's cut the ribbon. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Malden.
Good job, you too.
Yeah. Congratulations, Malden.
Yeah, thank you.
Always fun to see you. We're fun to see you in DC. Yeah.
Vanessa.